The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Armed Media, New Productions, and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
No! I'm going down to Alphabet Street. I'm gonna crown this girl that I...
Hello, everybody. This is the F Word, May 29th already. I swear, it was just last week. It just turned out. I hope everybody had a safe, wonderful Memorial Day and spent time remembering the people that really make it possible for us to be here saying any F words that we want on this non-F, is it the FAA? I can't remember, but that's another F word. But we are not monitored by them, so I could be saying F words, even though I'm very polite. And I'm happy to say that I hear some background noise, and I don't know whose house that is at, but if you can maybe mute it for a little bit. Is that you, Jonathan?
Not me.
Okay. Hey, our special guest, that must be his background noise then. But anyway, so what I want to do is again, just say, you know what, I hope everybody had the chance to really enjoy the holiday. Minnesota, I remember, folks, last month I was telling you how we had 20 inches of snow. Now, yesterday it was 100 degrees. So if you don't like the weather in Minnesota, just hold on. We're going to give you samples from all over the place. But Jonathan is here. Now, remember, everybody, one of our big F words is financial 15. It's such a big F word. There's two F's in it. Actually, three, because 15 has three. And spell two. But anyway, Jonathan, thank you so much. I want to talk to you, and then we're going to bring our special guest on, who is Ben Coleman. But so Ben Coleman, thank you for. And Jonathan's going to talk to us about something really important that, you know what, we really don't learn in school, and that's budgeting. So, Jonathan, what do you got?
You're right, Cathy. It's not something that's taught, but it's something everybody needs to know how to do, especially if they want to, plan for the future, invest, but perhaps even more importantly, just take control of it. Last week we talked about the earlier you invest and the more you put away into interest-bearing accounts, the more you can make over time. But for a lot of people, just that idea that they're going to have some money every month to put away, it might seem like a pretty tall order. The average American actually saves only about 2% of his income every year, which means, by the time that person is 65, if that's all they're saving every year, they're probably only going to have like a year and a half worth of living expenses put away. And that's something that we want to avoid. So before we even get to investing and all that stuff, it's important to understand how to make a simple budget so you can peel some money away, rather than spending it all every month, and actually save it for the future.
Okay. So how do you suggest somebody gets started with that? Because you know what, I think about it, if I look back, and when I first started working when I was 15 years old, if I would have saved, you know what I did? I would save for a pair of shoes that I wanted. Or I would save to go, get some outfits because my parents wouldn't buy me Levi's. If they did buy me Levi's, they were always the cheap ones that I didn't want. So then I had to go, save my money. So that was my first, exposure to saving, but I saved it to spend it. So
that's right. But at least you were able to save something, and that's really what budgeting is all about. It's about just making goals and being consistent. Think about investing for retirement is like planning like a 3,000-mile road trip. Budgeting is making sure you're going to have gas today and knowing where you're going to refill it tonight. It's the here and the now. So if your goal is to save up enough money to buy some jeans, that's great. Budgeting will help you do that. If your goal is to save up enough money to send your kid to college, budgeting will help you do that. if people don't do this, then it can feel like they aren't in control of their money, but instead their money is in control of them. They might say something like, "Oh, I'll start saving when I can afford to," or, "I have no idea where my money goes," or "Investing is only for rich people, so why bother?" These are just things we say to put off what we perceive as a hard activity, which is budgeting, saving, or putting off having to make a choice about something that we don't know very much about, which is investing.
Jonathan, I'm going to interrupt you, and I hope you don't mind, but
Sure.
Can you just talk directly into your phone? Because for some reason, I think the headphones are making you crackle. Snap, crackle,
Is
pop.
that better?
Let's see. Start talking.
Hello?
That's better. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. I'm trying out a new microphone, so clearly it doesn't work very well.
Well, okay,
so you're asking me, like, how somebody can get started.
Well, yeah, how did you get started? Because you know what, I think about, like, even back when I first started, in a company that, and I'm going to name the name because it doesn't exist anymore, Nordic Track. I'm sure everybody's heard of that. But, that's the first company I ever even heard of a 401k at. And so that's when I started. It took me a long time to do it because I was a single mom, and I needed every penny I made, I thought. But you know what? If you take it out, right? So what's the best way to start with that?
All right, well, I think the best place to start is to take a sheet of paper, never done this before, and write down the categories of every type of spending that you do in a month. So, make these columns. So, like, rent, mortgage, grocery stores, restaurants, utilities, other bills, transportation. Just a column for every type of spending, and then open up your bank account, open up if it's an app or on paper, and just look at your spending. Start at the first of the month and write down every single expense from that month into the corresponding column. It might seem tedious, but this is just the first step.
That would be really eye-opening, because think of all the people that stop at Caribou or Starbucks every day.
Oh, yeah, man.
I don't even think of it.
Well, you might be tempted to cheat, too. You're like, well, I only spent $4 at Starbucks, on that day. I'm not going to write that one down. That's too small.
Well, you're only cheating
missing
yourself.
The fact that you spent $4 every day at Starbucks,
Right.
And by the way, if you go to my website, which is onepointbusiness.com/budget, I've actually included some worksheets to help you get started. If you've never done this before, I've got something that has all the categories already laid out. You can use that.
I'm going to put that out there. So onepointbusiness.com/budget.
Budget, yeah.
That's beautiful.
So after you write down every expense, then total up every column and see, how much did you spend at restaurants in a month? Is it $800? Is it $5? Do any of the totals jump out at you? Are any of them higher or lower than you expected? Like, holy jeez, I'm spending $100 at Starbucks, And that's the thing, just like investing, like we say, like, you don't have to be rich to invest. Like, you can put away $25 a month, and over time, it will add up to something substantial. Right. The same is true with spending. If you're like, I only spend $5 at Starbucks every day, but you're doing that 5 days a week, you're going to be spending $100 or more at Starbucks every month, and over the course of a year, that's $1,200 you spend on Starbucks. That could be money that you save.
Wow. Yeah, seriously. There's different apps out there, too, now that will, like, round up. I've noticed that, I don't remember what it's called, but, like, if you go to Starbucks and you have, like, 17 cents, it'll just automatically put it in a little account for you. Have you seen those?
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, anything like that. I think it's really important for people to set attainable goals, Like, I'm really talking to people out there that have never thought about this stuff before, or people out there that are struggling with real poverty. I'm not trying to say that investing is easy or budgeting is easy. I'm trying to say that it's necessary. If you're out there and you are having trouble making your rent, you're having trouble putting food on the table, you might hear me preaching about investing, and you might roll your eyes and think, yeah, that's great. That's not for me, though. I can barely afford these necessities, let alone putting something away for the future. And that
But
might
still
be
writing down everything that they spend. And I'm going to, you know what?
Right.
Jonathan, I'm going to bring up the thing that drives me more crazy Actually, it is not more crazy than open mouth chewing, which, by the way, everybody, is my least favorite thing. But people that talk about being broke and they buy cigarettes, that makes me nuts. It's like, okay, if you're broke, how much are they now? They're like $10 a pack. How much are you smoking? I mean, that just makes me, it's like you would rather smoke than eat. I mean, that's, if you just saved what you spent on cigarettes alone, that's crazy money.
Well, at the very least, if somebody is struggling, for whatever reason, you might say, I'm too poor to invest right now, and that might be true. But I don't think it's ever fair to say you're too poor to budget. Because if you are struggling with money, knowing where that money goes, there's got to be step one, toward at least getting a little bit more control. So you set a reasonable goal, right? If you're out there and you've never done any of this stuff before, I wouldn't tell you, set a goal of putting away $500 a month into an investment account. That's going to seem like an impossible dream.
Right.
So start small. Let's say like your goal is $50 a month or $100 a month, and don't worry about where it's going to go. Let's say you don't have any knowledge about investing. Let's just put it in a savings account, something you can get at any bank, right?
Right.
Say if your goal is just $50 a month, that's what you're going to save. You're going to put it in a savings account every month. If you set that goal for yourself, and then you look at all that spending that you laid out in all those columns, you pinpoint some areas where, okay, if I change this habit, I just cut this out, like Starbucks, for example. I cut out Starbucks and start making coffee home every day. This is what I will save. So you can set a goal, and you can even set goals per category. You be like, I am going to cut $25 a month out of my Starbucks bill. I'm going to cut $100 a month out of my restaurant budget, cut $30 out of gas, etc.
Right.
And then, at the next month, do this all again. It might seem tedious, but, it really only takes an hour out of your month. So sit down and do it all again, and then compare. Did you improve? Did you accomplish a goal? Or see if maybe over the course of 6 months you can consistently accomplish your goal, and then maybe you can raise your goal.
I like it.
Yeah, step one. And down the road, in future episodes, we'll talk about things you can do with that money you're saving. We'll talk about ways to invest. But for now, just getting control is really step one. And again, if you go to onepointbusiness.com/budget, I've also put on there a worksheet that helps with setting financial goals on a monthly basis and tracking your progress. So you can, some of this work has been done for you. You just plug in your own numbers.
And then that would take you to the next step eventually, and that would be sitting down with a financial advisor that would be, once you've got yourself situated and you feel a little bit better. And I think sometimes, too, people sit down and think that their situation is really dire, and then once they really sit down and look at it and move some things around, it's not as bad as they thought it was.
Well, bad habits form quickly, right? And you might have bad habits and not even realize it, like spending $10 on pack of cigarettes every day, or even worse, multiple times a day. Or, hey, I feel comfortable eating breakfast at a diner every morning, or I like to meet clients for lunch, so I eat out at lunch every day.
Well, right.
Even though that might not feel like a bad habit, if you add up the numbers, just for 1 month on a habit like that, you might be shocked at what you're spending. And thinking about what you could do with that money instead, that could be a wake-up call.
Well, that is a great wake-up call. And you know what, everybody? Seriously, take advantage of the tools that Jonathan is putting out there. I want you to go to onepointbusiness.com/budget. He's got things set up. He's doing such a great job. Jonathan, I'm so happy to have you in part of our team. And then speaking of team, we've got a team player on with us tonight that, I feel really fortunate to be able to call him a friend, F-word. And just know that he's done a lot of great things. Ben Coleman, welcome to the F Word.
Oh, thank you for having me to the F Word.
The F Word.
That's a good one. Okay.
Are there any F words that come to mind when you hear the F word? I said, can you think of any F words that come to mind when you hear the F word?
Not right now. I was really don't sound it right now.
Well, I'm really glad you've had the chance to talk with Jonathan, and Jonathan is setting up some really cool things for you. But Ben Coleman, Ben is here in Minneapolis, like me, in our little heat wave here, which is pretty awesome. I'm never going to complain about it being too hot. Never. But no, we can't, because we live in the Arctic nastiness that we have here in Minnesota. But Ben, you know what? You grew up here in Minneapolis, right?
I'm born and raised here in the north side of Minneapolis. Went to North High School. I'm with a polar bear here. And it's funny, our mascot is the polar bear, so we are really adapted to the cold.
Yes, exactly. When you talk about team mascot, what team sport did you play?
Oh, I played basketball, football, floor hockey, softball, track and field. I did all that stuff when I was in grade school, all the way up until high school. And then once I got in high school, I had an issue with football cleats. Our school could not afford to get us or have the means to get me the proper size shoes to fit my foot. So I had to quit proper size football shoes or cleats. So I had to quit football.
Oh, wow.
And concentrate on basketball.
So you mean if North High School would have been able to afford big enough shoes, you might have become a football player, a pro football player.
I love the tight end position and the quarterback position. That was my mainstay.
Wow. And as tall as you are, tell everybody how tall you are.
6'8".
6'8", a 6'8" quarterback. That would be, yeah.
There's a few of them out there, you know. I like to be quarterback or the receiver because I like to touch the ball. So, I like to be on the line. You never get a chance to touch the ball, so that wasn't my forte.
All right. Well, lucky for everybody, they couldn't afford the cleats, and you were able to excel in basketball. And tell me, so you went from North High School. Where did you go next?
Well, just to give you a little history of my basketball life, right? I started off at North High School, of course. I made all-state and all-tournament, all-state and everything when I was in high school. So I was fortunate enough to get separated from the rest of the class by being elected to be all-state at a high school. Then from high school, I was also fortunate to get a scholarship to attend the University of Minnesota.
Right.
So I was the first Black American athlete from North High School to get a scholarship to go to the University of Minnesota.
That's wonderful.
This is back in 1979. And then from there, I played pretty well. Then I broke a bone in my foot, and I kind of got sidelined for that, and I was still performing well, so I got upset. I was young, and I got upset, and so I transferred to the University of Maryland, where I once again was fortunate enough to be on a great team. We made the NCAA tournaments every year.
Wow.
I was the captain, leading score, leading rebound, and leading block shot, field goals. I had a great career out there at the University of Maryland with Lefty Giselle.
Wow. What was your position?
Same position. I played forward and the center.
Okay.
I was 6'8", so I was a little short for a center position, but I was strong enough to be able to hold most centers in check. So I played both positions there. And when I got drafted out in 84-85 season, I got drafted by the Chicago Bulls. Of course, Michael Jordan was the first pick. I was the second pick in the second round.
Wow. I know Michael Jordan. I've heard of him.
Yeah, so we were drafted the same team. It was ironic because we played against each other in the same conference, too, because at that time, University of Maryland was in the ACC. So we had good battles against Duke, North Carolina, Virginia, Ralph Sampson and his crew. We just played against a great team. North Carolina State, who eventually won the chance to the NCAA tournament. I think that was 84-85 with Lorenzo Charles and Sidney Lowe and those guys. So I got a chance to play against some great players and some great teams while I was in University of Maryland. And it was kind of ironic, because when I transferred out, the first year I left University of Minnesota, the Gophers won the Big Ten championship. Right?
Right.
So, of course, I was very jealous and upset. But my second year out, my first year out, when I was able to play after my redshirt year, we won the ACC championship at the University of Maryland, which was the first one in their school history.
Wow.
So, yeah, that came out pretty good for us. And then other accolade I got to talk about now, since I'm older. When I was young, I wouldn't speak about it. But now, I rated one of Maryland's 50 greatest players of all time. So that gave me a lot of good recognition when I was out there.
I love to hear that.
Yeah. And then from there, of course, I got drafted by Chicago. So what that in turn made me the first African American person from Minneapolis to go to get a scholarship to go to the University of Minnesota, but also was to be drafted and made it to the NBA. So I was the first one from Minneapolis to do that. I know Dave Winfield made it to the baseball league, but he was from St. Paul, so he doesn't count. From Minneapolis.
That's right, Minneapolis.
So he was the first that way, yeah.
Wow, that is
And so
amazing.
then from there I went, when I got drafted by Chicago, they were stockpiled at the Power Four, so I didn't get an opportunity to play that season, but during the summer league, I made the all-rookie team. I made the first team for everything for the Chicago Bulls, but they wanted me to come back, but they didn't want to guarantee me a contract, so I left and flew overseas, and I played in Trieste, Italy.
Wow.
So I got a chance to explore the European life at a young age. Got some wonderful friends out there, Boris Vites, Nico Coleman, if you guys are listening. I hope this station goes over to Europe. They was really good friends of mine, and Benito Coleman is, the same name as Benjamin Coleman in America, but just flipped over for Italy. So that was kind of ironic, but we became friends for life. And he had a nice little restaurant, him and his mom, so I got a chance to learn how to cook a lot of Italian cuisines.
Nice.
And that was great. And my other good friend, Boris Vites, was from Yugoslavia. So I learned how to make some really good Yugoslavian dishes, which consisted of a lot of lambs. And I want to say veal shanks. It was really good there. So I had a good time there in Italy as well. And then from there I came back. I came back to the States. I played.
How long were you over there?
Tried out. I was over for 2 years.
Okay.
Actually, I came back and I tried out 1 year. That's the first year I came back. Tried out with the Portland Trailblazers. Got a chance to play with Clyde Drexler, Sam Bowie. What's our Timberwolves coach we had? Jerome Kersey, Terry Porter. So I was on the team. I had made the team, actually. So I was all on there with the first, second year. Those guys, I made the whole team. During the summer, they did guarantee me a contract, but then they released me. So I had a choice. They told me to stay around and see what happened, or I could leave and go back overseas and get a second check. So, of course, I took off being cocky and not knowing too much about the future. I took off and just went to Italy, back to Trieste. So that's where I got my second year there.
Okay.
Well, I was an all-star both years in Trieste. I was like first or second to score in the whole Italian league. And back then, the Italian league was pretty big. Between Italy and Spain, it was the best leagues, but back when I was playing, Italy was the best league. Paid the most money to the marquee players. All right, so then from there I came back and I tried out for the New Jersey Nets.
Okay.
And I did make the team, so I got a chance to play with Buck Williams, Daryl Dogden, Mike Dominski, Ray Williams from Minnesota, Otis Birdsong, Dwayne the Pearl Washington from Syracuse, Dennis Hobson from Ohio State. I played with some good players there too.
Well, I would think they'd say you're one of them too.
Yeah, unfortunately not to say I'm one of the legends now. I'm one of the NBA legends.
You are at Maryland.
So,
Yes, you are, and especially at Maryland.
Yeah. And anyway, from there we played. So then I stayed in the league for about 5 years. I played with Philly, New Jersey, Milwaukee, and a quick stint with Detroit. All right, and then after the 5 years, I went back to Italy for a couple of years, went to the team.
Oh my God!
And I played a couple of years, and I came on back.
All in all,
And
Ben, how many years did you play pro altogether?
playing total altogether, it was like 12, 13 years.
That is phenomenal. What's the average?
The average?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Probably 5?
2 or 3. I don't know.
2 or 3?
You can get 5 years. Nowadays, though, it's easier because they're probably giving out 5-year contracts.
Okay.
So, there's so much money being made, and there's so many more teams. I think when I came out, there was maybe, I can't even get exact figures, but maybe 24 teams or 26 teams, and now there's over 30 teams, so there's a lot more jobs out there. But by saying that doesn't diminish the players that are playing now, because there's a lot more jobs, but there's still a lot more people don't get jobs, or don't make it to that level. It's just like coming out of grade school. When the kids first start playing, every year you go up, it gets harder to make a team. It's like, I don't know, 1 in a million and make it to the NBA, and then 1 in a half a million make it to the high school team. So the odds they greatly depreciate as you get older. So it gets harder and harder to make to the next level.
Well, they do.
But like I said,
I just think about my own kids. They're AAU basketball. I think was the furthest.
Right.
My oldest went.
Right. As long as they can get out of high school, out of grade school, and keep coming up. But I like now what the high schools are doing now. And when the kids don't make the main team, they have how would they call it? Intramural teams.
Okay.
So that keeps the kids happy and keep them entwined in the school and keeps them focused and still doing the right thing, because that gives them directions. Because sports, is a life to life, and all the discipline and hard work ethic that we place in playing sports is such a plus for everyone who goes to the next level in life. And of course, that would be corporate America or being their own entrepreneurs. But most of the kids, people in the world that are successful, had some kind of structure outside of just going to school. They might be in plays, they might be in a government program, but sports it's just my thing. So I know it's a big life into life.
Well, I think too, sports is such a great way to team build and to learn how to work with others and to also be, actual patience. Because
yes.
excuse me, my youngest son, when he started playing sports, he was not a patient little kid, and he was. I saw that he was a bad sport. It was embarrassing. I told him, I just went, no, you don't get it. That's not what you do to the team. Because he would purposely fall down baseball if he knew he was going to miss it. He'd purposely, and everybody else thought he was hurt, but I'm the mom. I knew what he was doing.
So sounds like you spoiled him rotten.
Well, he was
That's
the
what
baby.
most parents do with the kids nowadays. So
No,
we
but
always
you know
spoil our
what?
kids.
But I didn't stand for it. I yanked him. I'm like, oh no, you don't. And I remember other moms thinking, oh no, he's hurt, and I'm going, no, he's not. Get up.
So,
If that would have been the first kid, I probably would have, been, oh no. I learned. That's the third kid. I figured it out by then. But it's so important to be a part of something growing up. Now, with you, here's something I'm curious about.
Any after-school activity is really important for a kid. It doesn't have to be just sports, but if they pick another activity, there's going to be discipline and hard work involved in that as well. So the same lane tools will apply.
Yes, exactly.
But if a kid just goes to school and then comes home, there's too much of mischief they can get involved with.
I don't know anything about mischief.
That's not a plus. That's not a plus at all. It's a proven fact. So it's just so if they get involved in activity, whether it be sports or anything, or non-sports athletics, they just get involved.
Well, I'm curious about something. So when you went from the Bulls over to Italy, did you have an agent that recommended that for you?
Oh yes, we had an agent. He was one I picked. He had Bernard King, Al King, Tim, some names, some guys. Not Mullen. Chris Mullen was an Olympian. He had some good players. So I chose him, but I gave him a little bit too much freedom, too much much trust. Wish I'd been listening to Johnson. I wish I'd known Johnson earlier to save a few more dollars, but I didn't do too bad. But as you know, I could have saved more if I'd have held my own finances in my pocket. You know?
Right.
But I put a lot of trust in the agent. But so that's it's a learning curve for us. But of course, I got rid of him too. After a couple of years, I just had to switch agents. But yeah, the agent helped us because they knew all the teams over in Europe and all of this and that. So you had to go somebody that had the wherewithal to place us in different places, as well as he knew a lot of the NBA teams as well. But I didn't think he was all forthcoming with me, and that was I don't know. I guess it was my fault because I should have been more vigilant and did more background checks on him. But he was recommended by my old college coach, Lefty Giselle. So, and I knew the players he had helped in the past. But
right.
So I just followed suit.
Well, you don't know what you don't know. So when you look back, I mean, the one thing that everybody that I've talked to, in professional sports, they said the one thing they would do differently, knowing now. They would have known it then, is just educate yourself and have somebody. I mean, did you go through the people with their hands out, wanting, because you made it big?
Yeah, we went through that. We did do some minor training when we was in the NBA.
Right.
Like once you became a rookie, they had some how would you say it, impromptu learning sessions for us during the rookie camp times, where they go through, you meet the drug counselors as well. There wasn't a whole lot of financial awareness at that time. I'm not sure how it is now, but I'm pretty sure these guys are putting a tighter grip on their finances. But I shouldn't say that. I heard a couple of horror stories already. It just popped in my mind. Some recent players still got in trouble by listening to either their agents or some financial people that steered them the wrong way.
Right.
They lost millions of dollars. But that's not just in sports. That's in everything in life.
It is.
You make the wrong decision, you lose. You
Right.
know, you just gotta have the wherewithal to bounce back. Like a lot of the great players say. When they fall, if they miss a shot, they don't stop shooting. They keep shooting. You gotta make more than you miss.
That's right.
That's what Michael Jordan saying. So,
make more than
but
you.
I think the key is they say I don't know if it was Les James. Maybe it was Les James says it's not how many times you fall down, but how do you handle when you gotta get back up?
Right. What are you going to do? Yeah. I mean, and if you look at, like, if you hit rock bottom, pretend it's a trampoline and just jump higher.
That's it. So, that was it. But I wish there was more training for us coming out of college. That's what I think it would have been more pertinent for us, even though we all got college degrees. I was able to get my degree in the 5-year stint when I was in college, so I was thankful for that.
What is your degree in then?
Got my degree in communications, and I got a minor in black studies.
Okay.
So I was able to do that in 5 years, and I told myself I was going to go back to school, but then I was like, for what? Because I already had money and stuff. But anyway,
anyway. Well, right. Yeah. So, okay. Now you're done with your NBA career. What did you do when you got out?
First thing, I did relax for about 2 years. I just did not too much of nothing. I think I was coaching my kids, and I was coaching my kids when they was playing a little basketball in 4th, 5th, and 6th grade. So I helped them out a lot. And then for some strange reason, I got this idea to get a restaurant, which was not recommended to us when we used to talk amongst ourselves on the bus or the plane, because we knew it was a hard lick. Right? But anyway, I ended up getting a restaurant bar downtown Minneapolis. My wife has it was a good food. My wife is a descendant of Jamaica. Okay. And I fell in love with the Jamaican cuisine. So I did a little research, did a little due diligence, and I found out that more people from Minnesota go to the Caribbean islands than any other state in the country.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, so I figured it'd be a good fit. Yeah, I figured it'd be a good fit here in Minnesota. Yeah, you say you wonder why they went there.
Well, yeah, why would from Minnesota, right after this winter? Good Lord.
Yeah, Minnesotans love to get out of here, so they love the Caribbean Islands.
Oh wow.
So anyway, it started off good. We had a good menu. I had a mix, because I had a mix. It was soul food and Caribbean food. All right, so I'd have my jambalaya, I would have my fried catfish, my sizzling steaks. And then on top of that, I'd have my curry goat, my jerk chicken, my oxtails, So I had that mix going there. So it was really good mix of food. I still have the catering business for the same food right now today.
You do? And how often do you do that?
Yeah.
What kind of
Well, we just cater small events, like if they're doing functions at one university or some private parties. We just do functions like that. I'm not as much into it as I used to be because I'm a little older, so I don't like to do a whole lot of cooking. But now, since I'm going into this, I gotta say, this last quarter of my life, I'm having more interest and passion in the food cooking that I love. So I'll be back out there again. I'm gonna start again this summer here, working at the Juneteenth Festival here in Minneapolis. So I'm gonna do some catering and have my little tent out there. And of course, Cathy, I have a jerk seasoning that I want to put out there in the market. So
it's good, you guys. It's really good.
Yeah, I'm gonna be pushing that pretty hard this summer to get everything out there, so I can get this out to a lot of my friends, because a lot of my college friends and pro friends as well, they remember the days when I used to cook, and they loved my cooking and my food. And I did get a lot of visitors to come down to my restaurant downtown, which was called the Caribbean Splash. It was down on 1st and 3rd. And so they still remember it, and everybody says, "Where's it at? Where's the jerk seasoning?" And I've been making jerk seasoning on the side for my friends, and now it's just time to go on the market. And like, if they like it, they like it. So what I can do when they put on the market is say no.
Well, and I've got those friends that, they have Captain Jack's, or it's not Captain Jack's, it's Captain's Lakeside Grill, is what I should call it. But I foresee, like, some Saturday doing a Caribbean Splash party where you have all of that out there. I mean, it's right on the lake. That's a perfect name for their party. I mean, and they do a lot of advertising and could get a lot of people there. You get some of your athlete friends, that'd be a really big deal.
Yeah.
I think that'd be
good.
fun.
Yeah, it'd be nice, yeah. I've had people in the past say you want to do a Caribbean Splash reunion. I just haven't put it together because they really, I just thought about the hard work, but now I'm just getting a little wiser and smarter. No, I don't have to do all the hard work. I just got to surround myself with a good team.
That's right.
And then, so I surround myself with a good team. All things are possible. But in life now, it's like I did it full circle. I tried to do it in my midlife. I tried to do a lot of things on my own, which didn't work as well. And now I'm doing a full circle, going back to how I started. And how I started was with all teamwork.
Yes.
So I'm getting back to that.
It's important to have a team that you can trust. Because it's like, make sure you surround yourself with good people. I mean, because you can start sensing that. I mean, I know for myself, I've had people that I've trusted in my life and realized, whoa, was I off, right? But and generally, I mean, they start showing their true colors pretty quickly. So people that you have around in your life for a while, you kind of get a good feel.
Yeah, some people you got to move around. If they mess you up once or twice, you got to move around. You just can't stick with them.
That's right.
But at everybody's core base, I think everybody knows who their best friends are.
Oh, exactly.
And if we just got to trust our first judgment and deal with those people.
Right.
Even if they're wrong us sometime, if we know they can come out of it, at least we know what they're about. And we just take it from there.
That's true. So you had the restaurant. How long did you have the restaurant open?
We had the restaurant we lasted 3 years.
Okay.
But then my wife got ill, and I was down there by myself, and I couldn't handle it. There was no investors involved except us, and she stepped out. Yeah. So we had to back off of that, and I had to take care of her. So, we moved to some places to get her some better health, and
Yeah.
And then we sold the restaurant before we left, but that stopped it there. But even back then, if I had partners or hired the right people, I could have sustained it, but it was just too much work for me trying to do it on my own.
No, exactly.
So,
I mean, in restaurant, the staff, that's hard. I mean, managing, you have to manage
it was high
people
turnover, you had to watch all the stuff. You had to be real accountable for what you're doing. And you had to wear about 10 hats, so the owners had to do a lot. I talked to some of my other friends who own restaurants, like Mark Heaton, he owns like 2 or 3 of them out there in Utah. But he says, he still suffered some losses, but the main thing he did was hire good staff, not staff, but good managers to work the staff, you know. So that's what keeps him afloat. I know I spoke briefly with Michael about it in years past, and he had the same thing. He said it was hard to find good staff to run his restaurants in Chicago.
I've seen his place. I never went there. I go to Ditka's all the time.
Yeah,
it's kind of cool.
But that was their key. They did get some good management eventually, and that's what kept them afloat.
No, it is, and and I was in the restaurant business a lifetime ago, and I mean, I wasn't an owner, but I was a manager, and I was there all the time. It's crazy.
If you get a good manager, you can pay them. They can get bonuses when the restaurant does well, so then they can work their way into management or owner positions, which has happened with a lot of good employees. But a lot of them just don't see the bigger picture. It's that rare. It's that few that rise above the rest of them. You got to look out for.
Right. The big picture people are the ones that are usually the ones that work the hardest.
Work the hardest, and they're loyal. They see the big picture. They know they're gonna get their come up.
Right. They don't have their hand out. They just know that it's going to come. I mean, that's ethic, work ethic, and that's something athletes have. I mean, as you should, because you have that work ethic.
A good work ethic, of course. Plus, we got to have our faith in our higher power. For me, it was Jehovah God.
Right.
I had to have faith, and it's funny, Ray, because like I was talking about, I did full circle. In the middle of my life there, I kind of lost my faith a little bit, my belief. When you just pray to God, He'll come through for you. He got a purpose for you, I was telling somebody the other day, right, when I first started off, my career, my ambitions to make the NBA, I used to, even in life in general, I used to read a lot of self-help books, that really pushed me to the next level. And then I felt like when I got to that pinnacle, I stopped reading and pursuing those same, reading those same articles that gave me the confidence to keep moving. And I was kind of sad by that, but it's reality check,
Yeah.
So now I'm back to the self-help mode. I know there's a lot more I can accomplish now. And, opportunities are coming across my plate with me not even asking for them, they're just coming.
That's part of the faith.
Directions.
That's part of the faith. I believe in that fully.
Yep.
Faith,
so
F word, that's part of the F word. So if I don't know if I told you this, but the F word, literally what I said was it's faith, family, finances, football, and every other F word you can think of. And faith is always first. If you have faith, everything else will follow. And I just, we all have our moments. Like I've had this past couple of years has been really hard for me in testing my faith just because of my health. But, I'm coming out of it. I'm able to form sentences again. For a while there, I could barely talk. So, so now it's now you can't shut me up. So, it's doing the right things, and I think some of the things that I know that you've done in the past is worked with kids. And another F word that I talk about is, I always joke around. I say the F word is philanthropy, even though it doesn't start with an F. It sounds like it does, but you have a foundation. And
yes, I got Coleman Foundation. Yeah, I can tell you a little bit. We work with at-risk youth mostly in the inner cities, but now then we start off in inner cities, but now I move up to suburban areas too, because there's to keep the kids moving.
Right.
Because, like I said in the beginning of the conversation, I believe sports is a big life into life. So if you can get them on a team and build them, whatever level they're on, it's going to give them a stronger attitude and a better foundation for their life in corporate America.
Gives them a better self-image of themselves, too, because there's a lot of kids with low self-esteem. And if you get, like, I'm sorry, okay, so I'm going to pretend that I'm a little boy for a second, because I never was one, but I raised them. But you know what? I get this, if I'm like, at school, and I'm loving basketball, and I'm dribbling it, and I think I'm really good, and I loved it since I was, kindergarten, but I didn't get picked for the teams or anything. But I get somebody like Ben Coleman, this big giant of a man, coming over and talking to me and making me feel better and showing me how to stand a little bit differently and start shooting baskets. I think so many athletes, they don't realize just by spending a little bit of time what a difference they can make in a kid's life. And that's not just athletes, that's anybody.
As anybody, yeah. Because I have to do a bias. Because the majority of the athletes that I've known and seen over the course of my life, they have been willing to help out young kids.
Yeah.
There's not too many athletes that'll say, no, we're not going to sign an autograph, or no, I'm not going to offer you some assistance. But things have really changed now. Now it seems like if you try to speak to some kids, you have what they call haters out there.
Mm-hmm.
Just for give you an example, I was in Georgia last month and I just showed up at one of my sister's school, and I just went down there to the basketball team was doing some kind of, I want to say, training. So I just went down there to speak, so just to say a few words to them, right? And I was trying to get the words of encouragement to the players. And the coach said there only can be, one person speaking. I'm like, there's only one coach here. I'm like, what is that supposed to mean?
What?
And I'm not. Yeah, it was really different to me because I know Georgia's the South and they do things differently. But I'm like, I'm not here to take nobody's job. I'm here to talk to these at-risk youth that you have on your basketball team. But anyway, that's why I said there's some haters out there. And then, so you got coaches that are haters, then you got some parents, if you try to correct their kids, they don't want you to say that to the kids. But when we was growing up, back in the days when we was growing up, if there was a professional person or a person that had knowledge of a sport that we was in, the coach and the staff, everybody, the players would stop and listen without saying anything just because that person has been to the next level and knows what you're talking about. It's weird, it's just weird that some attitudes you have to watch them.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like to me they're leaning more they think they know everything from watching TV as opposed to speaking to somebody firsthand.
No, it's
which
true.
Is kind of certain and stuff like that.
No, I love though that you're getting out there and you're doing things with the foundation. I know we've talked about some different things. Being able to, provide jobs of sorts with the new league that's coming out there for the kids. Tell me, like, as far as, like, what you know with the WCBA, as far as an opportunity goes, do you see that, like, all the kids, when you're talking about those small percentages of those kids that never make it, they don't make it to college or they don't make it, do you see this as another opportunity to really reach out and help?
Yes, I see this as a great opportunity. Like I said, it's God bless it. I don't know how it just fell into my lap, Cathy, but God just sent it over there through the messenger, like yourself. I don't know if you know or not, but I had tried to work with an ABA team a few years back, and I just didn't like the structure didn't get along with me, and the future wasn't bright for that team, for that league, because they had like 70, 80 teams around the country, and everybody, it was just ready. But anyway, I had this own vision of just put my own league together. But when you introduced me to Mike, he, brought everything back to me, and now I want to help him see his league back make it into fruition. It was intriguing to me because now it's giving kids an opportunity like, for example, drafting kids from the NAIA, as well as all the black colleges around the country.
Right.
Those kids never get seen, and they never get an opportunity to get to that level, so their careers kind of like die. But there are some diamonds in the rough out there, and I know that through this league we'll be able to find some of them and help them go to the next level.
Yes.
But not only that, the parents, Minnesota, for example, we're like the top 2 or 3 states in the country as far as AAU programs is concerned. So what that means is there's a lot of parents that love their kids and they want to continue to watch their kids grow and enjoy their life in sports and basketball in particular. So I see a big future in that here in Minnesota. I know we're starting with 1 team here, but eventually, if God willing, I'm hoping that we'll have at least 5 teams in Minnesota.
Hold on. Hold on, because guess what? Before we got on the show tonight, I was talking to Mike, and he wants us to talk because he was wondering if you thought we could get 4 teams here.
That would be great. I know we can because basketball is so high in demand, and the parents are investing so much money in their kids to play AAU. But the thing that's going to be the kicker is, I'm not a big advocate of AAU. I'm a big advocate of tournaments, but not the AAU as far as developing the players. I think with our league, with our team now, we'll be able to do some camps that can give them more fundamental instruction, and that's why so many jobs are going from the NBA to European players, because they're practicing their fundamentals all the time, and they're getting the kids at a young time and teaching the right thing. It's not just going out there and playing the NBA, trying to be like Michael Jordan or Scottie Pippen or LeBron James out there. You have to learn your fundamentals, practice your craft, just like going to school. You can't just learn one lesson, you got to learn several.
Exactly.
So that's the same thing in sports. We got to learn more than one position. But I'm seeing this league as a bright thing here. When it came out, I had a chance to talk to people in my surrounding, the people I trusted. I ran it across them first, and they all loved it. And, they had many questions about it, but they saw it as a beautiful thing to do because we'll be able to put a team out here where we can work in the community and establish something in this.
That's the biggest thing, is the being able to give back. Being able to get into the communities and also provide additional income opportunities. Because
we'll give them a little income opportunity, but we'll be keeping their dream alive, and they'll be keeping them healthy and smart and strong, and they'll be able to build stronger connections with corporate America working through our team, because we want to bring in good sponsors that also want to support the growth of our at-risk youth that are going to be on the team. But on top of that, I love the idea that we're connected with FIBA. I'm looking forward to the opportunity to go over to Europe. Yes, because we'll be able to offer to help the kids get placement jobs over in Europe at some of the smaller countries, like Finland and France and UK, they was considered small countries back then, but now I'm pretty sure they're pretty big at basketball. So we have that opportunity out there for the kids, so they have goals to reach for. But that intrigues me a lot, because now I'll be able to go out there and travel to Europe and connect with some of my old friends. And
oh my gosh,
I'm looking forward to it.
You could be getting them to get teams too over there.
Yeah, we don't want to saturate it, but let the teams that are there to just build around it, My important thing would be to get at least 3 or 4 or 4 to 5 teams here in Minnesota, so our travel time would be cut down.
That's exactly what Mike said earlier. Exactly what he said. And
but most importantly, it would be those parents that have spent thousands upon thousands of dollars for those kids to go to AAU. This would be a life fulfillment to see their kids playing semi-pro. And hopefully, if we work it right, we can model ourselves after St. Paul Saints, who started with the amateur league, and they just built on up. And I think they just built up because they had a great team.
They had a great team and great management. And it's the leadership and the vision is what's all behind it. And if you're doing things, they are all about community, and that's
all about communities. It's affordable, entertaining. They're helping the community out there. You're supplying jobs for people. They're just doing great things. Those things, and I think they even got their own stadium now.
They do. I need to go. I've never been to one yet. I gotta go.
But started with a dream.
That's
so
right.
I'm thankful for the lead, and I'm just looking forward. God is good. He put it all in my lap, so I'm looking forward to using that as a light into my life now too. And I think I can run a lot of different things out of there. And
Right.
outside of church seasoning and the basketball camps I can do and continue to help the youth.
Mm-hmm.
But as well, maybe I can sell a few properties too, because I'm a real estate agent as well.
Wait, what? Wait. Now he doesn't just do, nothing at all, you guys. He's also a real estate agent. And what is your website for people to go to? Because there's a really special property that I'm kind of looking at. I want it.
Yeah. Well, the thing to do is just go to thebridgerealty.com.
Thebridgerealty.com. Okay.
Yep, and just click on there, and then it says find your agent, and there's a button. You just click on to find your local agent. But everything you need to know about the homes is on that website. I've been a realtor since about 2005, so I keep it going there.
You got it. So we're going to have to get all kinds of great places for all these players to stay, too, so maybe some commercial real estate is in your future. Ben, oh my gosh, just thank you for being on tonight, and I'm so excited about all the things that we're going to be doing, and
me too.
You're a good friend. I really thank you. Thank you for being on the F-Word tonight.
All right, thank you, Cathy.
Thank you. Good night, everybody. We'll talk to you next week.